Hey, it's Greg Binkley, and one of the things we do here at the Working Actors Workshop is prepare ourselves to be on set, prepare ourselves to book work. And one of the great ways to discover how to do that is to actually hear from somebody who casts. As you know, we have a lot of guests, producers, actors, directors. In this particular night, we had a casting director, Michael Sanford, who's known for casting commercials for many years, but he also casts films and other projects. He came and worked with some of our students. You can see some of those clips on the channel as well. But in this particular episode, you're going to see the interview I did with him, where he reveals a lot of great information that we can use to find out what are some of the mistakes that actors make a lot, what are some of the qualities that he sees in people that book a lot, and how can we handle ourselves in such a way that we're the kind of people that they bring in over and over. So check it out. I think you'll get some great tips. Well, yeah, we're glad you're here, and I wanted to get a casting director's perspective, so I'm really glad you're here. But before we get into casting, you started as an actor as well, right?
I did. I started as an actor from New York. I went to NYU for business, and then junior year discovered some acting classes, and then decided I was going to switch into Tisch. I'm like, why am I not doing this? But it would have taken me like a year and a half extra, so I wound up just graduating with a business degree. Worked for the Bank of New York for a few weeks, business job, NYU, great business school, and then quit and went to wait tables and went to HB Studio and just started the acting journey. And then in the summer of '87, I think it was, I came out here for the summer. You know, I stayed for a year after I got out of college. I was studying, building up a resume, training, really having a great time with it. Things were starting to go well. I got to SAG and did some TV stuff and plays, and then I said, I'm going to go to LA for the summer, and I never left. It's been one hell of a summer.
Yeah.
35 years
Wow.
out here. And then how I got into casting was I was bartending and waiting tables, like actors did, and I met a commercial casting director, Susie McGray, and then I met my very first job in casting. Bo was the camera operator. It was at a park. I remember this. It was at like Pan Pacific, not Pan, one of the parks.
Ocean
the one on,
Park.
No, it wasn't Ocean. Oh no, it was like a park outside. We were doing remote athletes. But anyway, I was bartending. She used to come in and she asked me if I wanted to go intern with her, and I did. And then I became her assistant, and then I freelanced for about 20 different casting directors. Became a freelance assistant and was really kind of like blowing up my auditions to go to like Susie's callback I was just fascinated with the process. I didn't know what it was like behind the scenes, and I really, it was such a natural segue for me. And then in 2000, I was partners with kind of pseudo partners with a company here in town, but my ex at the time, she was a talent agent. She's like, you need to do this on your own. Why are you running everyone's business for them and making no money? And I opened in May of 2000, and then in 2 weeks later, we had a 6-month commercial strike. I went back to bartending, and then I just started knocking on doors with a demo reel after the strike ended. I'm very lucky to still be here. I really am, because it's a tough business. And I started primarily in commercials. I think 60% of what we do are still commercials. But then about in 2010 or 2009, I credit Mark Pellington. He was a big MTV guy back in the day. He did the Jeremy video for anyone of a certain age, or Pearl Jam. He knew I wanted to eventually get into features, cast films. So he had asked Heidi Levitt, who was an independent casting director, amazing casting director. And if I could help her on a project called I Melt With You, he was doing. It's like the male midlife crises movie. I recommend everybody, men over 40, watch.
Is anybody here over 40?
Just us. But I didn't even really know Heidi. And then I met her on set. I had met her briefly before, but we really spent time on set. And she said, wow, this was a great experience with you, and you do commercials. I just got another independent. And there's no dialogue. If you want to help me with it, it's a silent movie. And you do commercials. A lot of times there's no dialogue, and it turned out to be The Artist.
Wow.
Which was that was like really what helped us get into features, because I didn't, I mean, it was so fast. Like, I didn't even know what CSA stood for at that point in my life. I didn't. She's like, you have to join the CSA. We're nominated for an award.
Wow.
And we won it, and it was
Wow.
amazing. And
Wow.
so we do like 1 or 2 indies a year now. Look, I'm grateful to work because it's very, very tough out there for everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, a lot of people look at casting directors or even producers and
No,
or
we're in this
directors and they go,
together.
wow, they got it all figured out. But
We
everybody's trying to find
Yeah,
their
we
next
really
job,
don't.
right?
Yeah, and everybody, like directors, Academy Award winning people, you know, they don't know when they're going to get another job. People that you think have it all figured out, and anything could change, you know. It's not like, maybe sometimes they think, wow, you should have stayed in business, you know, you could have. But this, you work and then you don't work, and, you know, but you all know it's like an inner drive, and you can't, I don't think you could stop that if you have that, you know. And I really like what I do. I'm not looking to direct or to act anymore, so I'll do it until it stops. But I'm not going to worry about it.
You also do short films too? And
Yeah, we do. Like, and when I say theatrical, it's like film, TV, short films, music videos, commercials would be voiceovers.
So how was being an actor helped inform the way you run sessions or the way you deal with actors?
You know, a big difference. When I worked for 20 people, different casting directors, I thought 10 of them were amazing, and then 10 of them, and then, you know, just weren't the warmest, I should say. I'm not mentioning names. Most of them are not in the business actually anymore, which is nice. No, I mean, no, it's for actors. Like, you know, I wouldn't I love actors. Like, so I'm going to make sure that you have a safe space, you know, or like if it's a self-tape, it's gonna, you know, I understand what you feel and go through. So we pride ourselves on that. I think we have that reputation as being actor friendly, and I think most casting directors do now that I know. I think we support you. We want you. I can't do my job without you, you know, and without the agent and everybody. It's like an ensemble. So I think that really helped me approach it, and just for the, you know, the empathy factor.
Right, 100%. Well, everybody I mentioned, oh, Michael Sanford's coming. Oh, he's the best. Everybody appreciates. Well, it is true, but it's because of your warmth and your willingness to actually be listening to the actors and not quickly dismissing them.
No, not at all. Like, you get older and you're just happy to be alive. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. So I hope a while, but thank you.
So when you were an actor, what do you wish you knew about casting that you now do know?
To not worry so much, to not like put this pressure on myself. That's what blew me away, was like to see 60 people come in one day and how different they all were, and to think that, okay, that guy's going to get it or that lady's going to get, you know, and then to see how they wound up going with it. And, you know, it had nothing to do with the actor a lot of the time, because a lot of people are giving really great reads, but, you know, if it's a commercial, it's always going to be about the product. It's advertising. So that the advertising because my concentration was advertising in school, so that really helped. You know, it's always the product. It's never, even if you're Brad Pitt selling Heineken, it's going to be the green bottle. You know, it's not going to be them. So that really helped me. I wish I knew that, because I wouldn't put so much pressure on myself.
Right.
Even films, you know, like going out, when I would go on auditions, and, you know, you have the sides and you feel like you make mistakes, or driving home, oh shit, I wish I, you know, sometimes worse words, but like, I wish I didn't do that, or no, you gotta let it go. You know? And thinking that we're gonna hold a grudge if you make a mistake, and you know, everyone's human. You know, it's an audition. It's not a finished performance. So those are things I wish I knew.
Yeah, and it would have given you much more freedom, huh?
I would be like living in Malibu, driving nice. No, my life is fine.
But I mean, in the room, you would have not felt so much
tension. Yes, I would
tension.
have felt the pressure. Like
Yeah.
like to be a perfectionist, or to nail everything. Like even commercial copy, I see guys, or, you know, actors come in, and you know, you'll be reading something, and then you'll fumble a word, and you'll be like, oh, damn, can I do it again? You know, and we're like taping, and of course we have to do it again because you just stopped yourself and you just said something that I can't really leave on tape anyway. So, but don't, just like it looks so much more professional for you when you just lose your place, stop, we'll wait for you, come back into it. You're going to do that on a set. You know, you might shoot the first 3 lines in front of a storefront, and then you might go behind the counter. And so, but I understand it's an audition and it's a monologue kind of, if you're doing spokesperson copy, but just don't worry about it. You know, don't, if we get a glimpse of who you are and how you interpret that character and it's right, we'll call you back. And, you know, well, and a lot of times it's not us, that's the other thing. We don't have the power people think we have. We could make recommendations. Like our thing are to pick you for the first round. Like we go thousands and thousands of submissions to bring you in, and then we'll make, usually, I mean, we'll have a relationship with, a lot of times now the directors I work with, we work with repeat directors, so they trust my judgment, so I'll make comments or notes or bring people in based on the feedback, you know, what they're looking for. And then it's still going to boil down to the ad agency and the director. Each one will make picks. They each get a separate link and they make their selects. But let's say the director has 2 favorites after the callback and we're doing first choice, second choice. So the ad agency, it's like, well, I want this guy first. Can we put him in second place? Well, I'll give you your first. It's like dealing, you know, it's like, I'll give you the first, but let me have it. And then it could go to McDonald's and they could say, I don't like any of them. And, you know, McDonald's is going to win.
Meanwhile, all the actors that tried out are all thinking they did something wrong because they didn't get the job.
Wrong.
Right?
Yeah, or I have a lot of actor friends too from doing it for so long too, and they're like, I haven't seen you in 3 years. Are you mad at me? Or it's like, no, I haven't seen you. Why would? But it's just that we're not doing your type, or, you know, or we're not working, or we're working on something that you're not right for. So I think it's a lot of getting out of your heads. That would be my advice too.
Yeah.
And look, it's very normal, and it's very, I think we do that as people, but I try to empower you guys to, you're enough, just, you know, how you are. And then if it doesn't work out, chances are it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I always say, I only take it personally when they hire me.
Yes.
That's the only time I take it personally.
Exactly.
Now you're talking, the product is always the star, but I felt with the Del Taco commercials, it was more about...
Well, you were like, you're at a different place when you're like a spokesperson.
No, I was joking. But you know, Potch was a spokesman for 6 years too, for Chevy.
Yeah.
And Bob was a spokesman for what, 4 years? For
4 years.
Coke Zero?
Yeah. It's my favorite soda.
So sometimes we get
You did well selling it.
Yeah, sometimes we get things going. But you've been at it for a long time, so how have you seen the casting process change over the last 10, 15, 20 years?
Well, it changed during COVID,
Right.
of course, because of, you know, a lot of, I don't think I heard of Zoom before 2020.
Yeah, me neither,
So the self-tapes is huge now. I think it's 70% still of what we do are self-tapes and virtual auditions. So I remember the first year, you know, like just people fumbling and cutting their heads off.
Right.
And us saying, you know, like none of us knew what we were doing, but we had to, but it's become such a norm. I don't think it's ever going to go away, honestly. I don't. I do prefer in person. I know you all probably do too. How could you not? Commercials seem to be more in person than theatrical.
Definitely.
Which is so interesting to me. But we're trying to do a push to at least have the callback to be in person if we can't. But it's tough with some of my directors. They're not based here. They're based all across the country, and they're casting here a lot. So, but that's another thing that's changed. We're casting everywhere, like all the different markets now across the country, because a lot of production is, you know, they're filming in all the different states. Not only Atlanta, New York, Chicago, but Boston. We just did a couple of jobs in Boston, Denver, and Nashville's huge. Nashville's a big market. So, and the directors we work with are jumping to all those different markets. Commercials, there's like so much non-union now, which is fine. You know, everyone has to work, but that's been a real hindrance, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I wish that it was at least 50-50, because when I when I started, it was 80% union and 20% non-union.
Wow.
And I think it's like, it's got to be at least 70-30 now,
Wow.
I think. And I'm sure, I don't know if you hear that from, but just the commercial, theatrical, thank God, is still mostly it's all union. So that's very different. That's all, and so, there's so many actors that have gone FICOR.
Right.
And it's a tough one. It's really, and I don't think even without, whether it be union or non-union commercials, and you guys would know, are not paying or they're not running like they used to run. You would book a big spot and it would be a campaign and it would run. I remember booking commercials and I would make a living for like 2 years off of one commercial.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're shooting so many spots, they'll pull it faster, it'll go to cable quicker and you make less money. And I do see a big, the diversity has that's improved a lot. Like the landscape looking out in the lobbies now, like when I first started, even, black, white, Hispanic, like there was certain molds within those different ethnic groups. Now it's like everyone is a commercial type, your parents, like the real people thing. And I hear actors saying, well, why, we're real people, you are real people. We know that. But I think actors have like a reputation of being so perfect and put together. And so,
Like everybody in this room.
I think everybody in this room, this is how you want to go and audition, the way you're dressed now.
Right.
Or have your headshots look like the way you all look now.
Right, not glamour shots.
No glamour, no, not at all. Not for commercials and what
Yeah.
we're talking about right now.
Right.
I mean, and then that's specifically what we're focusing
No,
on.
or all of it. I
of
love
it,
the
so.
fact that you do films, short films, and commercials. I mean,
Yeah.
it's perfect. And union and non-union, it's perfect. But you were saying there's so many people that you get seen for each spot, but somebody ends up booking it. Are there any qualities that you tend to see in the people that tend to book more than the people that don't book?
It's that technique of like less is more. We always advise you train, take an on-camera class. And a lot of you, I did look up a lot of, there's newer people and there's people that are experienced. But I think you could always train because things are changing constantly. Self-tapes are new. That's a new technique now, I think. You know what the qualities are when you're yourself? Even if you are feeling insecure, like we're not seeing that. You're faking confidence. You're not being obsequious, not so much to us, but like even to the clients if it's a callback. Again, I encourage you not to do that because they need you like you need them. And I think I mentioned this to you, Greg, but I've used this example where it was a Budweiser callback. It was years ago. It was we were there till like 11 o'clock at night, and it was between two guys. They were gone, but we were like deliberating between these, watching tapes and watching other. And the director just finally looked at me and said, "Who's the nicer guy?
Wow.
Who are we going to want to hang out with for 3 days on a set?" Because they both deliver the lines well. They both look like they could go with the girl that we cast. So, I mean, I think those are the people that, people are just very comfortable and, confident in themselves, or we take it seriously, but it doesn't show. There's like not that desperate energy. Does this all make sense?
Yeah, it's all the stuff we practice.
Yeah, and it's what is it?
Right out of the book.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I mean, but you don't have to, fake it till you get in the car. Just hang out and be in the room. And I think that comes through. I really do. And then the little things, like I was saying, like when you're auditioning, if you mess up, just recover. That don't beat yourself up. Don't get defeated until you get out of the room and the door is closed. Don't let us see that. Not so much
Right.
me, but the client. I know what you go through and I know what you feel. Because a lot of times they don't, they're depending on us and they don't really understand actors or the process. They know what works for them, but they don't know what you go through.
I think that's really important, Michael, and I'm glad you mentioned that. A lot of times we show our disappointment
Yes.
in the room when, in fact, your perspective might have been, well, that was totally fine.
And most of the time it is. Like
Yeah.
when people say to me later, like, I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're seeing things that we're not seeing, like, oh, I think I was blinking too much. Or, like, I didn't notice that, So, I have to say, to get out of your head would be, I wish I did that years ago. I still wish I do it.
Yeah.
Just as in life, get out of my head.
No stinking thinking, right? That's what people get so bogged down with their own thoughts and their expectations. It needs to go this way. I want to do it this way.
That's the other thing. Yeah, you could work on that. You should work on it. You could work on your beats, even on commercial copy. You could break that down into beats. You can make your choices, but you've got to let it go when you come in, especially if you're reading. Well, this is probably more film and TV now. When you're reading with somebody, we're only going to have actors read with you. Like I won't read with you because I'm focused. I don't know how, casting directors that could do that. I'm amazed at because I have to be focusing. I can't be reading.
Right.
So we always have an actor that's there reading with you. So, but it's still about you. You're on the camera, they're behind the scene, but they might deliver something to you that's different than how you worked on it, and you just have to roll with it. So you have to kind of let the homework go and just be present. That's a lot of it. It's just 100%. Being in the moment, I think.
100%. IMDb, you were saying you looked up the actors on IMDb.
Yeah.
I gave links to them.
Yeah, I have their links here. Should I bring them up?
I did. But I did notice, some people, maybe their picture wasn't on or their phone number was not on, and that can be a real issue, right?
Yeah, I encourage you to, especially on the IMDb, that's very common.
Yeah.
Because there'll be 5 people with the same name and none of them have a picture. So it's very hard to know who's who sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to be findable. You have to, you're probably all on, breakdown services, and then casting networks.
Yeah.
Now casting.com is the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, Actors Access, Casting
Actors Access.
Network,
Yeah, that's part of Breakdown.
Casting.com, yeah, IMDb. There's a lot, but
and the IMDb. Yeah.
But definitely for film casting, you would look at IMDb, right? If you were like, there was somebody in class, what was it? Look up IMDb, and then there's
breakdown
no contact.
services.
Yeah,
I would probably search breakdown services before IMDb because it'll show me your resume.
Oh,
a lot of times IMDb is just the credits.
Yeah, and you have to really scroll.
Yeah, and I want to see the resume, and that's a big difference too. Real quick, like reading a resume for a commercial and reading a resume for theatrical. So I mentioned that.
Sure.
Commercial resume, I start at the bottom. I want to see your special skills. Do you have improv? Where'd you go to school? Oh, wow, she went to school in Georgia. She lived at that part of the world. Like, it's because about your personality, a lot of the time. And also, if you had like an on-camera technique class, film and TV, I'm going to look at your training, of course, and then your credits. But on a commercial, I don't care how many guest stars you have or a coast. It doesn't matter for a commercial. It's more about like even other professions, like, oh wow, I'm also a EMT, or I'm also an accountant. Put that down, because what if we're casting, doctors or EMTs, so I think that stuff is more important in commercials than the training, than the credits.
So if you see Working Actors Workshop, you're going to bring it.
I know, of course, and like I said, it's in my psyche now.
Yeah, I love it. All right, who has a question? Yes, Bob.
It's so easy in our business to be negative. And what things do you see from your point of view that are actual positives that are perhaps on the way?
The fact that we're here, you're here and doing this. There's people that dream about this, like from small markets all over the world or other places. I think you always have to be hopeful, because none of us, and just really focus on what you could do today. And if you could do that, like that's what I'm trying to do as I get older, is just stay present.
What I love about you, and the reason I reached out to you, we're Facebook friends, even though I hadn't seen you in a while, but you're always posting positive things, Yeah, and I love that.
And I appreciate that, but a lot of it is, I'm reinforcing it for me too, to stay like that.
Who else? Yeah, Karina?
Before COVID, I used to be the queen of postcards. That's how I stayed in touch with the casting directors and upcoming directors and producers. And after COVID, everybody shut down their office, and now, I'm not going to hunt down your personal address to send you a postcard. What's the best way you like actors to stay in touch with you?
I have an email for actors.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I give it to you? It's msanfordcasting@gmail.com. And follow us on Instagram. We put breakdowns on there sometimes.
You're right.
Sanford Casting. And we'll put motivational quotes.
I love it. It's right up my alley. All right, we're going to get to scenes. We've got one more question. Anybody? Yeah, Bob?
What is the percentage of jobs that, for example, you do 2 projects in Boston? I would assume that the clients want to hire a Boston actor, as opposed to flying someone from LA, putting them up, flying
Yeah.
first class?
What they tend to do is stick to the local regions, or if they let's say there's a lot of dialogue, or they want more options, and we're not finding it in Boston, they'll open to a major market nearby markets right now.
So this database that you have, so if I audition for you, you still have my old audition tape too?
Yeah, it's able. The database is casting networks or
Oh, okay.
breakdown services,
Yeah.
Actors Access.
So you can just go watch.
Yeah, I sign in and I could see I'm seeing some auditions from 10 years ago
Wow.
still.
So let that be a reminder to always send in good work.
Mike, a question on the videos, as someone that does that. When you're looking at that, do you want it, how raw do you want it?
Oh, for the self-tape auditions?
Yeah.
Don't put pressure on yourselves. Don't worry about the edits and the fades and all that. It's about the work.
But also with the demo reel.
Oh, your demo reel.
Yeah. And what you just said was great information.
Yeah.
On the demo reel, how plain or?
That's a great question. I'll tell you something. When I don't know somebody, I just want to see footage. So, especially in a commercial or a film, anything actually, a feature. I want to hear how you sound and how you move. Even for commercials, I'll always look at like your theatrical reel more than your commercial reel, because a lot of times your commercial reel, there's no dialogue. It's you watching a sunset, or you're holding hands walking down the beach. But on your theatrical reel, I get a sense of how you move and sound, and the headshot really comes to life.
Karina?
For you, do you prefer to just look at the slates, or do you actually look through the whole audition, the slates?
I don't even watch the slates. I watch everything. I need to see it. I need to see it before I present it. So, yeah, no, I pretty much watch everything. And we'll always ask you, even with a commercial, for 2 takes. And the reason is I want to see if you take the adjustment. It might not even be what I'm asking for in the second take is super important, but it's really more about not only me, but for my directors to see that you could take an adjustment.
Better be good, Heather.
Okay, so commercials available upon request. Because initially when I came in from New York, I listed all my commercials that I had done.
Don't
They
list
said
them.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Do you know
looked
why?
quickly, but that is
Because it'll give people a reason to not hire you. So yeah, don't put them. I mean, I think your agents would tell you that too.
A big thank you to Michael Sanford for coming and sharing his information and coaching the students. It was really a fantastic night. We have so many other guests coming that are going to share their information, more directors, producers, and casting directors. So if you're in the Los Angeles area and want to do a free audit, come check out the class. Most of the time we get up and work out because we want to be working actors, right? We have to continue to grow in our craft and our career. But really, we can learn so much when a producer or director or casting director or even another professional actor comes in and shares their information with us. More of that is coming. For more information, go to the website right there, gregbinkley.com.